This is what quinoa looks like in its kind of raw state, and they're actually, people would call it a grain. It's actually a seed, and it's gluten-free. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it. I don't have the amount of time to, from start to finish, actually cook quinoa for you today. So I've kind of got some raw and some cooked just so you can see. Really, the biggest thing about making anything, especially like a quinoa salad, is to cook the quinoa properly. I can't tell you how many times I go out and with grains and other stuff like that. If it's not cooked properly, you're just done, and it's just not going to be good. So I start with that. So I take the quinoa, cover it literally with water, and let it soak for an hour. Now there's some other types of quinoa out there that are kind of par cooked or dried, whatever. You know what? I always just soak it. They might say it's a quick quinoa. It's not going to hurt it if you soak it. So let it soak for an hour. Put it in a fine strainer and really rinse it really, really well for a couple minutes. And then I let it drain off after I've rinsed it. I found that if I dump it right in the pot, as soon as I'm done rinsing it, it's still kind of, there's a lot of water in it. So I let it sit there in the strainer and let that water come out just so that I can get my measurement of the water exact. So basically your ratio is 1 to 1 1/4. So if I have 1 cup of quinoa, I'm going to use 1 1/4 cups of water. So once it's drained, I put it in a pot. Always put a tiny bit of salt and pepper. It kind of helps it cook and makes it a lot easier to season. When I season anything like a grain or a potato or anything, when I put a little bit of salt in the water, or salt and pepper in the water, it's not necessarily absorbing all that salt, but it makes it a lot easier to season the finished product, and then I don't have to put as much salt in the finished product at that point. So I bring it up to a boil, and it's basically like rice at this point. Bring it up to a boil, cover it, turn it down to a simmer, 15 minutes, and then I just turn it off and set it aside. I don't take the lid off, I just kind of ignore it at that point. Let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes and then pop it out onto a tray or whatever and let it cool.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. So that was just one of the many tips that come in the daily Clean and Lean Project emails. You can find all the details in the links below. But seriously, if you have any other questions, I love hearing from you. So hit me up on Twitter, on Facebook, or even in the comments below. I'm RunToTheFinish everywhere, and I love hearing from you, so shoot me your questions. Tell me what other information you're looking for. Do you want to know what I'm wearing? Do you want to know what shoes I run in? Let me know.